Hello, everyone. This is Zami Eccles-Erwin from FilmFestivalCircuit.com and the Assistant Director of the Austin Comedy Film Festival. We are gearing up for our summer 2023 session, which is going to take place on July 30th at the Austin Film Society Cinema. Today, we're talking to one of our participating filmmakers. Mike Maloney is the writer and director of Billy Buckaroo. Mike, thank you so much for meeting with me today.
Oh, thank you so much, Zami. Really happy to be here.
So, Billy Buckaroo is a great animated comedic short. Tell us, what inspired you to make this film?
Well, growing up in Mississippi, when I was around 7 years old, my grandfather was pretty sick, and we would visit him in a nursing home that was very near my house, and we would go. My mom would take me, and we would go visit him. And there were also, we would visit all the time, but just down the hall, there were some people that we could tell maybe didn't get as much attention as maybe my grandfather. So
Okay.
just keeping that in mind, and also on my other side of the family, I was always surrounded by cowboy iconography and memorabilia growing up as a kid because my grandfather, it's been in his family for a while. It was an appliance store called Cowboy Maloney's. So I really wanted to kind of combine the two sides of my family and create something that's funny, and also has a little bit of a social impact as well. So
Totally, I love that. So you're taking a little bit of your sort of your heritage, your identity, and injecting into just a great comedic short. Um, I'm curious, what is it like, working from, you've conceived the film, you've written it, and what's it like translating that for the animator? How much back and forth is there with styles and gags and stuff like that?
styles and gags. Well, I did, I would say about 95% of the animation as well.
Oh, is
So
that right? Okay.
oh yeah, yeah. You know, I did this for my final capstone at Tulane University,
Okay.
and we would it all starts with the script. And as someone that was doing animation, it was script, but it was also each line was really written with an image in mind. And taking that and going to the storyboard, and the storyboard changed a lot because there were a lot of things that I really wanted to do like originally, and then I kind of realized like, hey, I'm animating this whole thing. This is going to kill me if I do it
Right.
all. But it definitely, it was definitely a lot of like writing the script, um, drawing it. It's like writing what I really wanted it to be, drawing it out, just sitting there with it, like because I was also teaching myself really how to animate
Mm.
as I was going. And yeah, it was a lot of you know workshopping it, seeing what the class thought, and just making sure it's something that's funny, something that works, and something that's not gonna like kill me.
Totally. Well,
So
let me ask you this then. You for this project, you are writing for animation specifically. Do you feel like your writing style is different when you're, conceiving of it as an animated versus if you're trying to make Billy Buckaroo a live action? How much do you embrace that cartoon logic, and sort of how does that surface in your early conception of this work?
well, what's actually interesting is I was thinking of doing this as like a live action animated hybrid, uh,
Okay.
where it was like he would watch a cartoon and it was like a real person. And
Hmm.
that was, I was originally like, hey, I could do that. But then what you got to keep in mind is you got to go out and find a nursing home that's willing to let you shoot there.
Right.
And like, with COVID, that's the little
Totally.
challenge now. And you gotta have a whole live action crew, and then you gotta find a way to film it to where like the cartoon, you gotta basically complete the cartoon before you even film it to put it on there, or
Oh,
you can
right. Right.
so I actually was like, hey, with all the locations and the backgrounds, and then I'd have to find, actors. And when you're doing all of that, and then you're also animating a short, I was like, you know what? I'll just animate the whole thing. I'll
Totally.
and what I love so much about writing for animation is you know, you it takes a lot more time for sure, but really anything you want to do, you can really do it. You know, if you want, you know, like with locations, for example, I knew exactly what kind of layout I wanted
Mm,
for the town for Spittlesburg, and I didn't have to go out and like venture out to Texas or New
right.
Mexico and go look around in ghost towns. I could just be like, okay, I want that here. Just kind of map it out, and you do it. You know.
Totally.
So there's a lot more freedom, a lot more labor for sure, but the kind of freedom that animation brings you is really incredible. And as a writer, uh, there's kind of like a line that you have to ride of like, you know, something that justifies it being animated, but is also like, you know, doable to where you're not, you know, if you're like a small team of animators
Right.
who are, you know, you're able to get it done in a reasonable amount of time without sacrificing too much of your health, I guess.
Totally. Well, that's very interesting. There is still that line of freedom and constraint, even with animation, where in theory you can do anything, but there's still so much labor to
Oh,
actually creating it. Well, tell me, Mike, what did you learn from this process? New insights on either, animation, directing, writing?
um, I I realized that I would say while I love animation and I love to draw and I love to design characters, I feel like the writing and the storytelling is much more interesting to me. Of like, I feel like a lot of the times I would just watch the film over and over again just to make sure specific little things tracked and just making sure the story is all there. And I feel like it's as I'm kind of like just graduated and figuring out like what I want to do, it's given me more of like a I'm almost, you know, leaning more towards like a writer producer type of path. Just
Mm,
all the big picture stuff of like getting the cast and, you know, organizing everything, finding the musicians, you know, working
totally.
with SAG. I found that incredibly rewarding, just to big picture, lay it all out and make something. Uh,
Well, that's so cool, and that stuff is so important. I mean, having a good producer and having someone to really nail in that pre-production makes the whole process smoother, more fun. And I mean, it's good that you've, through your experience in multiple facets of producing a short, you've now kind of tapered into something that you really enjoy. Uh, well, what's next for you? Do you have any more shorts? Any more animated shorts coming? Anything like that?
yeah, I actually just moved out to LA. Uh,
Okay,
I probably moved at the best worst time. There's a bunch of strikes going on,
right,
but which is actually cool because you know people are very accessible and you can just kind of like talk to anybody at this point.
totally.
But right now, for a few months, I was really just settling in. But I have a new short. I have written a rough script and I'm doing some backgrounds for it. And I really want it to be, it's called Beck and Call Attorneys at Law. And they're these two like kind of ditzy personal injury lawyers in like middle of nowhere, Mississippi. And yeah, it's I want to do something like how, you know, like those old Beavis and Butthead shorts. He was able
Hmm.
to really, it was really more about the writing, and he had a system to where he was able to pump them out really quickly.
Right.
Has a formula, and I'm trying to do something with these characters moving forward. So
I love that. I want a Beavis and Butthead set in Mississippi with personal injury lawyers.
heck yeah.
That's great. Well, awesome. Is there anything else you'd like to say about Billy Buckaroo?
Yeah, I hope everybody enjoys it. I hope you laugh, hope you cry. Well, I don't hope you cry. It's kind of
Cry
abusive,
laugh.
but I hope you get something out of it. And yeah, I'm really excited to see everybody and meet everybody in Austin.
Awesome. Well, I think people are going to love this on July 30th at the Austin Comedy Film Festival. Thank you, Mike. Best of luck with your new spot in LA, and I cannot wait to see more from you.
Thank you so much, Liam. Yeah, I really appreciate the time.
Absolutely. Take care.
Of course. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.